Hello students, welcome to the class of Pole Science of class 9, and today we will start with the same chapter and with the revision of chapter number 3, that is constitutional design. In the previous classes we read about what is a constitution, then followed by why do we need a constitution. Then we also read about what is a constitution, that was a set of written rules. Then we read about that the constitution lays down certain limits on the powers of the government as well as the citizens by giving us rights. Then we read about this interesting fact that all countries that have constitutions may not be democratic, but all democratic country should have the written constitution. That means in a written form the constitution must be there for the democratic country. After that we read about what actually inspired the Americans and the French people to give themselves a constitution, to prepare a constitution. For the Americans it was after the War of Independence, and for the French people it was after the French Revolution. And since then it has been a practice where all countries have started making or drafting their own constitution. Clear? So today we will start from another topic, that was making of Indian constitution, circumstances under which the Indian constitution was drawn up. So regarding this point we have read earlier also that how was the challenge for actually whatever the members were involved of the Constituent Assembly while preparing the Indian Constitution. There were many challenges. So regarding that only we will read today about the making of Indian Constitution. So the making of the Constitution for a huge and diverse country like India was not an easy affair. So first and foremost problem of making or preparing the Constitution was that India was a very big country in terms of its population also and in size also. And another reason was there, India was a country with multilingual people. That means people from various caste and religion were there. So it was not an easy task for them. After that, the people of India were emerging from the status of subjects to that of citizens. So regarding this line, it was told that when before 1947, people of India were actually under the British rule. So at that time, that means we were not independent. We were under the rule of some other or third forces. So in that time we were being told as what? We were declared as the status of subjects. Whatever they will tell us or they will instruct us, that we must follow. So we were like a subject that will follow the instructions of others under whom we were being ruled. Now the thing was that after gaining independence in the year 1947, we were generally moving from what? From the status of subjects to that of citizens. That means when we got independence, that means we had our own country, India. So if we have our own country, India, that means what? We will be the citizens of that particular country. So we were moving from that stage, like status of subjects, to becoming the citizen of India. After that, the country was born through a partition on the basis of religious differences. At least 10 lakh people were killed on both sides of the border in partisan related violence. So regarding this line, if you remember that while the Constituent Assembly was about to be established in the year 1946, during that time only the Constituent Assembly of both India and Pakistan were separated or divided, because of the fact that India and Pakistan at that meantime only got divided. So related to that point, this second line is written that the country was born through a partition. That means the country was divided at the meantime when they were about to prepare a constitution for themselves. and this was divided on the basis of what? Religious differences. That means most of the Muslims will go and form Pakistan, and most of the Hindus will be forming India. So based on that only the country was divided, and when the country was divided, many people did not knew to which area they were actually. So on both the sides people got trapped, and due to religious hatred of the people, both the sides of the people killed each other due to the religious hatred. And in this incident at least 10 lakh people were killed on both sides of the border in partition related violence. Suppose assume that the Muslims did not knew that Pakistan and India got divided, so if that Muslim was on the Indian side of the territory, they were being killed by the Hindus, and vice versa, if the Hindus were struck in Pakistan, then that particular individual or his family were killed by the Muslims in Pakistan. So due to that only it is written that at least 10 lakh people were killed on both sides of the border in partition related violence. After that, when the constitution was being written, the makers of the constitution had anxieties about the present and the future of the country. That means when the Constituent Assembly was formed, and in the year 1946 they started preparing the constitution, but they were very much tensed about the fact that, thinking that if they are preparing the constitution particularly in the year 1946, they were thinking that it is good for the present time, but will the constitution that is being prepared in the year 1946, will that be relevant in the future? Or say suppose will the constitution of India which was prepared in the year 1946, between 1946 to 49, will have the relevance in the year 2020 or not? They were very much anxious about that. But we can see here that whatever the constitution, whatever the framers of the constitution had prepared the constitution, thinking about both the present and future, we can see that the constitution of India is very much successful. Till date it is being very much successful. So after the British agreed to leave India, the British actually gave the princely state some options. If you remember, princely states were the states that were ruled by the king. So the British had left it to the rulers of the princely states to decide whether they wanted to merge with India or Pakistan, or remain independent. So the British gave them 3 choices. Likewise, every people had a choice either to go with India or to go with Pakistan. But related to the king or the princely states, the British had given them choice that it's your choice whether you want to go to India or whether you want to merge with Pakistan, or there was a third option also, that whether you want to remain independent. That means what? India and Pakistan will get divided, and the princely state, if they want, they can become independent. That means they will become separate. This was the option given by the British. The merger of this princely state was very difficult and uncertain task. So because of the options given by the British, some of the princely states agreed that they will neither go with Pakistan nor with India, and they will follow the third option. So when they were very much eager to follow the third option, then there was a problem, because these princely states had to merge with either India or Pakistan. They cannot be separated. This was one of the biggest problems during that time. And who was successful? Who was the man or who was the person behind the merger of these princely states into either India or Pakistan? That person was great Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Due to his able skills, he was successful in merging all the princely states to India. So it is because of him that you cannot see even a single princely state in today's date. If the princely state was present at today's date, then you can say that that princely state was not merged with Pakistan also and with India also. So Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel actually played a very important role in merging all these princely states. After that, you can see the source actually. You have heard about the Indian constitution, that Indian constitution is a borrowed constitution. That means many views, ideas have been taken from other constitutions of the world also. For example, if you can see here, sources of Indian constitution, that means if India is a borrowed constitution, that means what? Many ideas and views are being borrowed from other constitutions such as the British Constitution, then Weimar Constitution, then from the American Constitution, then followed by Soviet Constitution, Canadian Constitution from the country Canada, then South African Constitution, Irish Constitution from the country Ireland, then Australian Constitution, and last but not the least, the Government of India Act 1935. So these are actually the sources from where the Indian constitutions or views or some elements of the Indian constitutions are actually added. Please make a note down of this sources. Actually there are 9 sources, you must know. Try to note it down in your copy nicely. Clear? So regarding the topic, the constitutional design, we will wind up today's topic here only, and in the next class we will try to read about the various aspects related to the path to constitution. Clear? So in today's topic we have tried to know about the circumstances under which the Indian constitution was drawn up, then followed by what were the main problems related to the country, starting from the status. The Indian people who were under the British rule actually were starting from the position of subjects to that of becoming a citizens after gaining independence. Then we also knew about all the religious differences that were there, under which our country was divided into 2 parts, that is India and Pakistan. After that, when the framers started preparing constitution, they were very much concerned about the present and the future of the country regarding the preparation of constitution. Then we came to know about the princely states, where they were given an option, 3 options actually, that it's their wish if they wanted to be with India or with Pakistan or independent. So this was also a very big problem regarding the merger, because many of the princely states actually agreed to be an independent one. But at this time, our great leader Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was very much successful in merging all of these princely states to India. And lastly, we read about the sources of the Indian constitution. That means I have told you earlier that as we know that Indian constitution is a borrowed constitution. So from where we have borrowed the views and ideas, we must know that. It's very much important. So we read about the sources actually. What are the sources? Starting from British Constitution, Weimar Constitution, American Constitution, Soviet, Canadian, then followed by South African Constitution, Irish Constitution, Australian Constitution, and last but not the least, Government of India Act 1935. So I hope that whatever the points we have read today, it is now very much clear to you. And regarding the next topic from the revision part of the chapter number 3, constitutional design, we will start from the path to constitution. So with this, I will wind up today's topic. Thank you.